$450,000. That is the sticker price for a seat on Virgin Galactic. If you want SpaceX, you're looking at $55 million. The ultra-wealthy call it the ultimate experience. But hold on a second. What happens if the engine fails? Or simpler yet, what if your heart just stops at 62 miles up? There is no 911 in orbit. There are no ambulances. And international law? It's a mess. Welcome to SpaceBiz. Today, we aren't looking at the stars. We're looking at luxury and ethics. Is this the next giant leap for mankind, or just a new Titanic waiting for its iceberg? Let's get technical. Not all space tourists are created equal. Category 1, suborbital. This is Bezos and Branson. You go up, float for 5 minutes, and fall back down. It's basically the world's most expensive roller coaster. Category 2, orbital. This is SpaceX. You are circling the planet, living on the ISS. This is a different beast entirely. Your body wasn't built for this, and frankly, neither is your wallet. This isn't Emirates first class. This is a hostile environment trying to kill you every single second. Why the $450,000 price tag? Let's break down the P&L, profit and loss. It's not just fuel, that's cheap.
We have
You are
fluctuations
paying
on
for
the X-axis
R&D,
stabilization.
ground support, and the
Rerouting
biggest
power now.
cost of
Hold
all,
steady.
risk premium. These companies aren't selling
there she is,
transportation,
the beautiful
they're
blue
selling
marble.
bragging
Thanks
rights.
for all the hearts,
For
everyone.
our
We'll
audience
be
here,
passing over the
guys who
Terminator line
understand
shortly.
ROI, is dropping $500,000 for 5 minutes of weightlessness a smart play? Or is it just the peak of capitalist waste? Let's talk biology. When that rocket leaves the pad, you're pulling 3 to 4 Gs. Your blood pools in your legs. Your brain is starved of oxygen. Now, picture the average client, a 44-year-old male, stressed, high cholesterol, maybe a little overweight. That is a recipe for a stroke or cardiac arrest before you even hit zero gravity. You don't need to be an Olympian to buy a ticket, and that is exactly the problem. You think zero G is relaxing? Think again. Get familiar with this acronym. SANS, Spaceflight Associated Neuroocular Syndrome. Without gravity, fluids shift to your head, crushing your eyeballs and flattening them. Many professional astronauts come home with permanent vision damage. Imagine paying a fortune to see the Earth, only to come home needing a seeing eye dog. Down here, the magnetic field protects us. Up there, you are bathing in ionizing radiation. A quick hop might be fine, but a week-long orbital vacation, that is a VIP ticket to the oncology ward. Space tourism companies put this in the liability waiver, usually in very, very small print. Let's game out the worst-case scenario. A tourist has a heart attack and dies on the Axiom station. There is no morgue. There are no body bags. The human biome begins to decompose much faster than you think. The smell in a recycled air environment? Unbearable. The psychological trauma for the rest of the crew? Devastating. This isn't sci-fi horror. This is a logistical nightmare that we haven't solved. So what do you do with the corpse? Keep it in the cabin for 3 days? Biohazard. Push it out the airlock? Under international law, that could be considered space debris, literally littering. NASA and private firms are actually researching body-back tech, essentially freeze-drying and compressing the remains. It sounds morbid, but that's the cost of the final frontier. This is where the lawyers get excited. Above 62 miles, whose laws apply? If an American kills a French citizen on a Japanese-registered ship? The 1967 Outer Space Treaty is a relic of the Cold War. We are entering the Wild West, where lawyers are trying to duct tape maritime law to outer space. It's a jurisdiction mess waiting to happen. Before you strap in, you sign a document called informed consent. Basically, you agree that if you die, your family gets nothing. The US government currently has a moratorium on safety regulations for space participants. The logic? Let them fly, let them crash, let the industry learn. You are a guinea pig with a checkbook. For the finance guys watching, here is the opportunity. Lloyd's of London and major insurers are drafting space travel policies. Premiums can hit 10 to 20% of the trip cost. If you're a billionaire, are you insuring your life for $50 million on this trip? You bet you are. This is a budding billion-dollar niche market.
Let's pivot to ethics. One rocket launch can emit as much carbon as a car does in 2 centuries. But it's not just CO2, it's black carbon, or soot, injected directly into the stratosphere. It stays there for years, absorbing heat like a blanket. We spent 30 years fixing the ozone layer. Now the billionaire space race might be tearing it open again. Solid fuel and kerosene rockets release chlorine and alumina, which eat ozone for breakfast. Is it fair for the 1% to destroy the planet's UV shield just to satisfy their ego? But let's be fair, we have to look at the flip side. The pro-space crowd argues for trickle-down technology. The rich pay for the expensive prototypes, so the rest of us get the cheap version later. Reusable rockets, satellite internet like Starlink, climate monitoring, these only exist because billionaires poured money into the sector. There's a psychological concept called the overview effect. Seeing Earth from space is supposed to make you more peaceful, more environmentalist. Bezos and Branson preach this constantly. But do we really need to burn tons of rocket fuel just so a few old tycoons can realize, wow, the Earth is
The ultimate
pretty?
luxury awaits you in
Or
zero
is that
gravity.
just excellent
Experience
marketing?
the overview effect.
History repeats itself. In 1920, flying on an airplane was a death wish for the super rich. It was expensive and dangerous. But because those daredevils took the risk, today you can fly New York to London for $500. Space tourism is in its 1920s era. Accidents are inevitable. Death is part of the R&D process. The question is, who is going to be the next sacrifice? The future isn't just going up and down, it's about staying there. Space hotels. Hilton and Marriott are already eyeing projects like Orbital Reef. Real estate value won't be measured in square footage, but in pressurized cubic meters. This is the next frontier of infrastructure investment. Stephen Hawking warned us about this, a genetic split in humanity, a spacefaring class that is healthier, smarter, and richer, and the rest of us left on Earth. Space tourism is step one. We are witnessing the birth of the Exo-Human class. So, as an investor or observer, what's the play? This market is high risk, but the reward potential is astronomical. Don't just look at the rocket companies, look at the ecosystem. The suit manufacturers, the specialized insurers, the zero-G medical research. That is where the smart money is moving. Pick and shovel plays are safer than betting on the gold miners. Space tourism. Is it a luxury Titanic or Noah's Ark for the future? Probably a bit of both. People will die, lawsuits will fly, but humanity has never stayed in the cave because we were afraid of the dark. The question is, if you had $450,000, would you buy a safe house on land or a ticket to the edge of death just to see paradise? Drop a comment below. Is this innovation or insanity? I want to see your debate. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for SpaceBiz. Catch you in the next one where we analyze asteroid mining. Peace.